What is up, guys? We are driving in a car. I got my heat waves on, so you know what that means. It means we're getting another car. Since it came out, I wanted a Chorizo Edition GR Corolla so badly, and I almost got one. In fact, at one of the FD rounds, I had a bet with someone selling one where if I won the event, he was gonna give me a good deal on it, but I didn't want to play the dealer markup, and all the dealers were trying to f me in the ass.
I hate when that happens.
It does suck when that happens. So no chorizo for us. But after like, I think almost a year, we're picking up a Corolla today, baby.
Let's go.
I guess I technically have already had a Corolla. It was an A86, and then when those videos came out of that dude restored it in a parking lot, it kind of became dead to me.
Yeah.
I'd still really like to own another one. Whoa, imagine, I think someone's already done this, but imagine like a Corolla, like an A86 with the new Corolla engine in it. I'm sure someone's already done that.
That's a good idea, though.
I'm a 4G guy though, right? You know, like 4 Minute Atlantic, 10,000 RPM.
Yeah.
Talking to me, you know. And why are we taking the E46 M3, you might ask? This is why.
Yeah, baby.
Dude, it just keeps going. Oh, look how funny. Nissan dealer right next to the Toyota dealer. It really sucks that I got to drive the 400Z at the compound because I really wanted one. Like, I was actually looking forward to that car a lot. When I drove TJ's, I was very, very let down with it. And yeah, that's why we never got one of those. I don't think we ever will. Maybe in 10 years when they're cheap and we can make them drift missiles. You think I'll still be drifting in 10 years? Comment below. Also hit the like button. This is a good time to do that. All right, now we're going into social anxiety mode, Mike, so put the camera down before someone sees and thinks we're YouTubers. It's a pretty nice dealer. They got water, the chairs are comfy. All right, Mike, we got to practice. Give me your best price.
No.
Can I talk with the manager?
I am the manager.
Can you do better?
No. I've only even like seen a couple in the road.
I'm actually like super excited. This is like, I don't want to say it's like a rental car, but my only association with having new Corollas is rental cars.
Yeah.
And I love them.
Yeah.
They're actually really good. But this is like the spiciest of spice.
And it's brand new, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Circuit Edition 2024.
Some forged carbon on the shift knob. Seats are soft.
The forged roof goes crazy.
I don't know if I'm a fan, if I'm being honest.
Really?
Yeah. It just looks like wrap to me.
Yeah, you're right.
But it's real.
I could see that.
All right. Checks out. We'll buy it. All right, we're locked and loaded in this thing. About to get out of here. I gotta say, pulling in here, this was like probably one of the easiest Toyota dealerships I've ever worked with. I've worked with 3 now. I was very pleasantly surprised. The first time I ever bought a Supra, it was an absolute nightmare, but I am very spoiled because Porsche of Naples treats me really well. Here, everything was going great, but then it turned into waiting like pretty much all day scenario, just because of some miscommunications about wire versus cashier's check, and then I had to double send money and blah, 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 blah. But we're out of here now, and I've got the car, and I'm very excited to drive it and let you guys know my first impressions, because this is the first time I've ever been behind the wheel of this thing. This is a brand new Circuit Edition, all the bells and whistles, and I'm very excited to see what a tiny little 1.6 liter engine can do.
Right onto West.
I'm starting off in sport mode, because why not? Instant first impression, it feels more analog than I would expect. Newer turbo cars plus manual transmission. I usually expect them to feel kind of mushy and like disconnected. Feels pretty solid so far. There's not a specific braking procedure for this car, but I am going to be a little bit nice to it and just kind of vary load like we would with any other race engine, just to kind of seat the rings, assuming they don't do that from the factory already is unlikely, but I'll get a little bit of varying load through it before we start ripping on it. Interior looks pretty dialed, but the steering wheel kind of kills me because it feels just like all the rental Corollas I've driven. Not a bad thing, but like, to me this is like a pure sports car, so I feel like an Alcantara wheel or something would spicing it up a little bit. Push track. What does that do? Front, rear. Oh, you can change the bias. That's pretty cool. Speakers are decent.
Use the left lane to merge onto I-95 North.
Handling's kind of fun. It isn't as rigid as I thought it would be, but it's kind of cool. You get a little bit of the, a lot of the body roll feeling. It's like tight, but you can still feel the thing moving around. Kind of reminds me of like my Subaru rally car. You guys can't see the tack, but it's very strange because it's not linear. I wonder if that changes in modes. Oh yeah, I don't like the sport tack. The sport tack gives you more resolution from like 4 grand to 6 grand, but then it makes like 0 to 4 really tiny. Kind of strange. But I would probably change that in the mode. Comment below, do you like how my brain works for car reviews, or is it weird and different because I don't watch car reviews and I probably don't talk about the right things? I like hyperfixate on little things instead of the major things, I guess. I don't know, but maybe it's good because it's different than what other people would say. Comment below and like the button. I don't know what we typically want on the highway, but it's smooth, it's quiet. RPM's a little bit high, cruising around. I won't say the RPM and I won't say the speed, but it's very good. It's not German level low RPM at very high speed, but it's not bad. I'm sure with an exhaust it might get a little drony. To kind of speak a little bit why I was so excited for this car when it first came out, I've been a fan of the GR Yaris, so the fact that we got the GR Corolla is really cool. Same engine, obviously it's a little bit heavier and I really like the lightweight purist cars, but I do think the GR Corolla looks a lot better, and quite frankly, when a new automotive company is still making exciting cars that I feel like are built for enthusiasts, I love the ability to support them. So I was very, very excited when I got my GR Supra when that first came out, and I thought that was a very cool car, and I cannot wait to start ripping on this thing. One of the things I struggle with many new cars is seating position. I feel like I sit a little high in this car, like I'd like it if the seat could go a little bit lower, and to have the proper distance for me to the steering wheel, it winds up with my knees touching the bottom of the center console. Kind of a pet peeve of mine. A solution would be to either put an aftermarket steering wheel that brings it a little bit closer to me, or put a lower seat in. But if you're tall and that irks you like me, I guess I can go up a little bit, which makes it a little bit better, which that means coming a little bit closer, and it's kind of the same problem again. I love it when cars have really long telescopic steering columns, but when they don't, I kind of have a hard time. It's not bad. I do feel like I'm sitting a little high, but visibility is really good, so that's nice. If you guys want to see me rip on this thing, I know I want to rip on this thing too, but I'm trying to be nice to it. What does IMT mean? Got a little bit of turbo noise going on, a little bit of not bad for a stock car. Rev's pretty nice. The IMT, I think that's like auto shifting. Not auto shifting, auto rev matching. Welcome to my chorizo. I guess it's not a chorizo. I wish it was. And they're doing drift testing.
I love chorizo.
Yeah. I don't know if I like
Chorizo.
chorizo. I feel like I can fit. Yeah, small car.
There's a wide body.
Is someone drifting right now?
They were testing your car, but I don't see your car testing.
All right.
Oh,
That
cool.
means safe.
Sweet.
Hold on. That means
I don't have a seatbelt yet. Whee!
it's got a nice little body roll to it, doesn't it?
It does. It has a really nice chime too. I like that.
No.
This thing is so sick.
Yeah, wait till you step on it.
Oh man.
I haven't stepped on it yet. I should probably explain why I'm so excited about this thing. This is a very bold statement from me, and I have to say this is 100% not sponsored, zero affiliation with Toyota. People ask me all the time, what do I think the best car that you can buy right now is? I think it's the Supra. For the money, the amount of power and potential you get out of the B58 for like 50 grand is absolutely insane. This car comes in right in the, I think, mid to high 30s in its basic trim. And this should be like way more usable. My biggest complaint with the Supra is it's got a pretty small cockpit. You can fit a decent amount of stuff in back, but the visibility sucks. This car could be I don't want to say one of the best because I don't really have a lot to compare it to, but it could be a really, really good option for someone that needs utility of fitting 4 people in the car, or of the seats folding down to fit like a bike in the back, or you know, whatever, because it's a hatchback, but also still be fast and fun. We'll dive more into all the quirks and features of this thing, but first we need to take it on a lap around the compound. So if you're new to the channel, which I highly doubt you're not, unless everyone that watched this video liked this video and made it reach more people, we have our own little circuit here. And I'm very excited because we're gonna do a lap time with this car as it sits completely stock. And then, as you know, this car under ownership of me is probably gonna get heavily modified. And then we'll get to do the lap time again. And I feel like I've never done a proper before and after with like mods like tires and suspension and all this and that. And I'm pretty excited to see what the difference actually is with a car like this that is very new and hopefully relatable to a lot of you guys on the channel. Alright guys, this is actually going to be my first spirited driving of the GR Corolla. Now I want to add, we've probably put, looks like about 350 miles on it. I don't know if that's the exact break-in, but basically drove it home from the dealer, got some coffee with Colette. We're about to do our first spirited lap. We'll take it slow for the first one, and then the next one we'll go as fast as we can, just so I can get an idea of kind of how this car handles. We are in track mode, and we are in expert mode. I was advised to do that. I don't know what the exact split is in this mode. Let's see if it tells us. It doesn't. It just says track. So apparently this is going to be the best setting for what we're trying to do. So we'll do a 50% speed lap, and I'll let you guys know what I think of how it handles before we go full tilt. Wow, good launch. I'm curious how the gearing is going to be. Oh wow, we're actually carrying a lot of speed in there. This is going to be a pretty fast car, I think. Doesn't really push as much as I expected it to. The brakes are really good and confidence inspiring. This is gonna be a fast time, I think. Well, I probably don't need to go into third, but wow, this is good. I'm glad that I get to enjoy cars like this and appreciate it, because that might have just been like a very good leaderboard time right out of the box. Wow. I do want to add, that doesn't count by the way because we're going to go faster, but I want to add that we will be doing these laps with no cutting the grass because we just planted fresh grass there. It was getting torn up pretty bad and I wanted to reset it and make everything look nice, but we got to keep it fair. So I'm going to get a key that I lost somewhere in the back seat. Good car though, like very, very impressed with how much it grips. That was supposed to be like a 50% pace lap and it was incredible. Like I feel like out of the box that probably just beat like the last 6 cars we did.
Yeah, I feel like it. It sounds like a bass drop when the decel, like the decel
really?
Sounds like a bass drop.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
It's kind of funny.
You're kind of funny. I lost one of my keys somewhere, so there's that. I think we're gonna get a fantastic time out of this thing. Yeah. Which is gonna be crazy because it's only gonna get better. Yeah, I'd be really, I don't want to say sad, but I'd be kind of annoyed if like this got the fastest time on the leaderboard out of all the cars I've ever had here.
And a testament to Toyota if it is.
Yeah, if it isn't though. You guys, I'm going home. All right, let's do it. All right, now that I know the limits of this thing, let's see what kind of time it can do. Good launch. I think I'm gonna leave it in second pretty much everywhere. It's insane how much speed it can handle through that section. I'm just very impressed with the lack of understeer. The brakes are incredible. Maybe we could have gone into third there. This is insane. I'm kind of torn. Like I don't know if I want to drive it though like a rear-wheel drive car or like a front-wheel drive car. I mean, I guess I should drive it like an all-wheel drive car, but it kind of has characteristics of both. Like it gets a little bit of like corner entry. It doesn't feel like a front-wheel drive or an all-wheel drive car. It turns in really nice. Exiting though, it starts to push a little bit. So I wonder if I should try to get a little more rotation and then kind of get on the gas. It doesn't have a lot of torque. I would expect it being a modern car to have a little bit more kind of like low end hit, but I guess it's a trade-off for it being a little bit more of a linear power band. It kind of pulls nice and smooth, which is good for traction versus like, I guess I expected it to be more like an Evo that just like hits you down low like, maybe it'll be like that after some bolt-ons and some stuff, but I've been a little underwhelmed, being honest. You know, I may have rolled into the throttle a little bit here or there, going to coffee, and it was a little lackluster, but playing around on a course like this, I get it. I understand it. especially considering this car weighs like 400 pounds more, or maybe even more than that, than the Yaris. I'm pretty impressed. I didn't get it driving around on straight Florida roads, but I get it playing around a compound.
It looks like so much fun.
It is the modern version of, I don't want to say the modern version of an Evo because that's kind of loaded, but like this feels more Evo at heart than like a Evo 10 does.
Wow.
I'm sorry, Navo. I'm sorry, Evo 10 owners. I know I probably broke your heart with that comment, but it's got the playfulness, you know?
Yeah.
It's not a Subaru where you got to start vaping and sacrifice your entire personal lifestyle to drive it. But you still get to have the fun, you know? I'm gonna see if I could do like a windmill donut. Maybe move that.
Okay. D-cell sound. I can't wait for you to hear the D-cell on camera. It sounds so funny.
I tried drifting twice. I don't think it wants to drift, but the handbrake works phenomenally.
Really?
Like if you were like baby driver, or if you were, I don't know, you live on a mountain road and you got like a little hairpin, it would work amazing to lock up and kind of pivot around the hairpin.
Yeah.
But it doesn't want to keep sliding. Maybe that's something to do with the nannies. I tried to turn as many of them off as I could, but maybe it's also just doesn't have enough power. Because I think first gear it runs at a wheel speed, and then second gear it just doesn't have like the low end torque to kind of fire through.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to see how this thing stacks up on the leaderboard before I talk more about it, because it's going to change my demeanor of how stoked I am or not. Okay, so closing thoughts. I completely forgot one of my favorite things about this car. I wish it was a rear-wheel drive car, and I wish like it was easy to make a drift car. Obviously, you could be, you know, Papadakis, you can build one into it. Check this out. I don't know if you can see this in the camera. You see how the rear end kind of squats down? You know what that means, baby? It's because we got a trailing arm. My favorite drift cars are trailing arm cars, specifically the E36, just because of their characteristics for drifting, the way they kind of deliver grip, the way they have anti-squat kind of built into them depending on like where your ride height is. Favorite type of drift car, so like FCs, E36s, E46s, and Corollas. But when I went and I grabbed that handbrake, I was like, oh my God, it feels so right. Because basically, trailing arm cars, instead of squatting when you're on the throttle, they'll typically squat when you pull the handbrake because they're losing all the anti-squat, and then the wheel is going upwards into the chassis. So kind of a cool, good donk, good donk. All right, this is a little deceiving to me just because of how good it felt. It's coming in, we're gonna say 10th place, but all the numbers on this board are very wrong, with a 31.32. Grip-wise, it felt really good, and it felt like it was gonna be fast, but I guess all of these other cars were on probably a much better tire, so I'd be curious putting a good tire on that car and some suspension. Can we see it break into the 29s? I think so. Just to give you guys a little update on the E36, we brought you in a little bit with the saga of changing the rack. That did not solve the issue, but the boys did whip up some stuff on the lathe to basically fix an issue with some Heim joints that were binding. That made the issue a little bit better, but still hasn't solved the problem. So I will keep you guys posted as we continue to investigate, but it's just one of those weird scenarios because this car is almost identical to the Europe car, but something on it is different, and we got to figure out what. All right, look, lap times are important, but the emotion that a car evokes is probably more important. I had a blast driving this, and it definitely had me smiling. I would say handling department evokes strong emotion, but leaving quite a bit to be desired on the acceleration and horsepower feeling of, you know, straight line. We got to have some Florida fun is what we like to call it here. So I am curious to kind of hear your guys' thoughts. I've accidentally leaked this car in the last video, and I'm gonna be honest, I've been really excited about this car, but I was a little bit concerned that on the channel you guys wouldn't be too stoked on it because it's a Corolla. But I'm excited because I think based on what I've read so far, you guys are pretty pumped, and I'm very curious to hear what you guys want me to do with the car and what kind of videos you want me to make. Personally, I really want to see it stacked up against Colette's Veloster because both cars are kind of similar. I think that car has some strengths, this car has some strengths, but I'm looking forward to the experience of owning this thing and bringing you guys along with me. So leave some comments down below, make sure to hit the like button, and we'll see what the future of the GR Corolla brings. We should name it. What should we name it? I'm not asking you, I'm asking that, Mike. Let me know. Comment below if you think I should peel off this $400 stripe that the dealer installed. It's kind of driving me nuts. And that's not a joke, by the way. There was, unfortunately, 2 things they couldn't remove. Window tint and the stripe were on the invoice for $800.
It's absolutely insane.
The window tint's pretty cool. It's a little bit dark for me, but the stripe is, I feel like it was doing good, and then they were like, crap, what do we do here? The body line goes up.
Yeah.
Let's just go through it. And then they're like, oh, but we won't follow that body. I mean, they tried.
That and the fact that it's vinyl. Like, if it was painted, I could understand the $400 mark, but it's just vinyl.
I mean, you know, back in the old days, pinstriping was an art.
It is.
You know, you didn't have plotters and stuff.
Yeah.
This, however, I mean, they didn't do a bad job.
No.
Someone's in the dealership department, and because of this $400 edition, they're there. I don't hate pinstripes. It's just,
Yeah, the body line thing there, I'm not a huge fan of.
yeah. I just want to remove just the back half and see if I can just like twist it up. I'm gonna wait for them to tell me if I should. I think it's gonna come off no matter what. So I think I'm gonna do it right now. What's the worst? Oh yeah, dude, it's like, you know how pinstripes are normally like caked on there?
Yeah.
Oh, this is gonna be such a nightmare to take the adhesive off. I'm already regretting it. Oh, well there goes my plan. I was gonna try to, oh, well.
Now you're really taking it off.
Rip. I guess it's coming off now. That sucks. I was gonna try to, God damn it. I was gonna try to preserve it and swoop it up. Man.
It'd be a real shame if we had a vinyl machine.
Yeah, but I'm over it now.
Yeah.
Gosh dang, it looks stupid now. When you go to peel a sticker off something and all that comes off is the top layer and it leaves all the adhesive, big sad energy right now.
Oh, yeah. You should just get the 3M rubber wheel.
Now it looks terrible. What did I do? End the video, please.
When you said